Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can I get a confirmation of my audio?
Uh, the audio
Yes.
is
Good afternoon, sir. It's
All
clear
right.
from your side.
Good afternoon. Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to come to you again today, Thursday, 11th of July, 2024, for another session of the FM Launch Hour. I have been coming to you with a few of my colleagues for several months now, every Thursday, sharing something very significant. Today, we're looking at proposal writing. I just want you to know that every episode that we take live is always available on our social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, especially. Just search out for the Max-Migold channel, and you will find all of our recordings for you for free. Very rich content. I also wanted to know that these materials are also available on our learning management system for purchase. Proposal writing is not very expensive. I think it's just about 20-something thousand naira for you to earn a certificate in proposal writing. So I would encourage you to, go to facilitimanagementcourses.com and go to all courses and scroll to any of these courses that you hear being taken in the launch hour. What we have in the launch hour is just a short 1 hour summary that can put us on a good stead in applying quickly some of these things that we are learning. As we increase and grow in the profession, as we begin to extend our experience through different activities, it's become practicable for us because we're now able to apply some of the things that we learn in this session. Just today, I was earlier this morning, I was teaching a session of the high impact courses. We have these courses that come up every month for operations management, for strategic facility management, for project management, health and safety, and setting workshops for procurement, for assets management, for air conditioning, electrical and plumbing, including technicians training and training for cleaning crews and security guards that we provide just to boost manpower productivity, because our tagline, our mantra in Max-Migold is maximizing your potential. On August 19th, the last batch of the FM Mastercraft Diploma for 2024 will kick off. And so to that effect, we are running a bonanza throughout this month of July. For the virtual class that is now 600,000, you can pay only, that is now 500,000, you can pay only 400,000. And for the physical class that is now 750,000, you can pay only 600,000. And if you come forward, request a payment plan, we also have a collection system that automates payment collection that will enable us grant you 3 months or 6 months installment payment for your training, even though the training classroom session runs through a 3-month period. This is a very practical, hands-on approach to facility management education, and it has put many hundreds of people into productive careers in facility management. So if you're still not sure where your career is taking you, I would advise you to step forward and make the leap in taking the FM Mastercraft Diploma. All right, so if you want to engage with us further, we have a Facebook group, Max-Migold Facility Management Services and Training. We have a Telegram group, Max-Migold Facility Management Services and Training. We have a WhatsApp group for facility management training, Max-Migold Facility Management Training. Join any of these groups, connect with us on our social media platforms. Just set up Max-Migold on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and follow all our content. You'll be enriched as you take out time to engage with this content and get better. We also encourage you to reciprocate, give back by liking and sharing our content and also giving 5-star reviews on Google and other review platforms so that we can keep doing what we are doing. All right, so in today's session, we're going to be looking at proposal writing. It's a course that helps to bring you closer to success and excellence in your career. The first thing that comes to mind when it comes to proposals, to most people is when we propose our services to other organizations. Yeah, so this is sales proposals, including all the other types of proposals that we give to other organizations to have a better view of what we do as an organization to sell ourselves. But as professionals in all professions, we also develop proposals internally within our organizations. And so whether you are being asked to make a business case, a justification, basically anything that will require you convincing someone to act or approve an action that moves you, your department, your organization towards a predetermined end result. We'll call that proposals. And sometimes proposals are initiated by you, and sometimes it is initiated by the the organization, the individual, or the entity seeking your input and your proposal. So we're going to take a little bit of a high-level view of proposal writing in this session. The actual writing aspects will be in the material. If you take the training online, you'll be able to cover that aspect. All of those things have to do with grammar and tenses and structure and the rest, the type we're taught in English class. But what I'm going to cover in this session is more of the strategic thinking, some of the reasoning behind proposal writing, and the kind of ideas we can incorporate into what we are doing. So in this workshop, I'm going to be looking at identify the purpose of a proposal, the different types of proposals. We touched on a few of them briefly because types of proposals is as many as types of organizations. Prepare a proposal outline, add illustration of the proposal, and proofread and edit the proposal. So how to define why we are trying to do a proposal, the kind of steps we're going to take to prepare a typical proposal, the kind of resources we need to put together, the kind of data we need to collate to get it right, all are going to be covered in the session that we're having. Proposals are a very unique type of business document. Know that we only provide an overview of the four in this session, four types. There are many types of proposals that you will come across in your career. So what's a proposal? Primarily a sales pitch for a product or service that your company offers. Now, sales pitches are not only done on behalf of your company. You do sales pitches on behalf of yourself. You want to get approval to implement or execute a certain project. You do a sales pitch to management within your organization. So think of proposals as both internal and external. Okay, so whether you call it internal memos, internal business cases, whatever you call them, they are also forms of proposals. And what are the steps, when putting together a proposal? You perform a needs analysis. A needs analysis is what establishes the need, the person you are trying to write in. So it's a case of being able to define what is the need for me from the standpoint of the person who is receiving the proposal or the write-up. So that needs analysis will have to establish a need that needs to be satisfied, an opportunity that needs to be taken advantage of, or a problem that needs to be solved by that individual or entity. And that will help you to create a goal statement, right? So I'm writing a proposal to, right, with the aim of, I will not put a goal statement because I understand the needs the problems, the opportunities. My proposal is supposed to come as a solution to that. The next step will be to create an outline. I'll put out an outline of what my proposal will cover. And when creating an outline at the initial stage, just come up with as many ideas and thoughts, more like brainstorming, right? Then you begin to do research, right, to enrich every aspect of the outline. That breakdown, some outline can become broken down into more aspects as you do more research, right? Some might become meshed together, depending on the kind of content and information and data you can gather from your research. And then you now create a first draft, you edit it, you proofread it, you publish the documents, and your proposal is ready. So I'm not going to spend so much time on the various types of proposals. I mean, the technical proposal, the sales proposal, professional service proposals, and the cost proposals basically speak to their name. A technical proposal is a kind of proposal that defines the technical requirements for a project, right? The approach, how the project will be done, including time, cost, resources for the project. Basically, you are trying to present information in a simple way that can help somebody understand what the project is about. Your sales proposals is mainly meant to convince somebody to buy a product or a service, right? So why should you be considered? What are the components or features of your own solution? What makes it better than your competitor in terms of a unique selling point, and so on and so forth, what you put in a sales proposal. Sales proposals sometimes can also include a commercial element, a component that requires you to indicate your cost. So you put down your costs, full breakdown, so that people can see what goes into materials, consumables, equipment, other aspects of what made up the cost itself. Professional service proposals are to focus on the kind of professional services, so more like consulting and other professional services that you use people's brain for, right? So the proposal needs to capture the kind of people you are going to be engaging for the project, the kind of skills they have, their credentials, testimonials from previous buyers or users of your services, and references as well, in case the entity or individual wants to check out your references to verify or validate what you have proclaimed or professed. All right, so it's important that we use, what is important to the client, what's important to the individual you are proposing to, always when coming up with a proposal or developing a proposal. And the foundation is your understanding of that, individual or entity's needs or problems, right? If you don't have deep, intimate understanding, you cannot present a proposal that will make sense. Most proposals are being trashed, being thrown away, being overlooked, being kept in view, being not approved, and so many other outcomes, because people creating proposals are not putting their minds to it. To first start with that underlying foundation, understanding what's important to the person you are trying to propose to, okay? Sometimes you find opportunities to respond to a request for proposal. So the organization requesting for a proposal will have a problem statement. They have something they want resolved. So the needs, the problem, the opportunity will be outlined and detailed, right? And then they now want you, individual consultant or company, to respond by stating why you should, who you are, your background as an organization, why you should be considered for it, your experience, the features of your own solution, as well as the project timeline and budgets. Sometimes some RFPs are already detailed, it's already broken down more like filling a template. It's already telling you, I need to know this, I need to know that, I need to know that. Okay. All right. So the main goal for every proposal you write is to make it convincing. You probably won't be there when somebody is reading through your proposal, right? So to make it convincing, you have to spend the time to be in the shoes of your audience. Okay, so spend time to understand who they are. When you write your outline, later on, you may want to make a note or section that may have a different audience, such as the executive summary. But basically, you have that single goal in line. What will the proposal achieve? What do you want to achieve with the proposal? Convince on something. That should be the underlying reason why you're writing a proposal. So, like I said, spend time on the audience, spend time on the individual or entity. Too many times we do proposals that are too focused on us, too focused on our solutions, too focused on what we have to offer. What do they need or want? What do they currently have as their solution? What can we offer? So you see, before you get to what can we offer, we spend time to understand what they need or want, and what do they currently have as a solution. So who are your customers? What do they want? Who currently serves them? What can we offer? And by the time we get to the point of what can we offer, what is different between what we are bringing versus what they already have is now obvious. That's why not all proposals that I respond to, it's not all proposals that I write. If I know you already have a solution that is as good or better than what I'm offering, I don't have any impetus, I don't have any motivation to try to, ginger you for a change, because it will just be like pouring water on rock. It won't make any impact, right? So how do I get to know about the clients? I need to research them, their stakeholders, their partners, the constituent members of that organization. Information is widely available. So if there are those that I can't tell who they are, I don't know them, but I might know somebody who knows one or two among them. And there's LinkedIn and other social media sources. There are studies that have already been done. There are publications that are already online about organizations and individuals that you can tap into, right? And just basically, learn how to do deep searching on the web and use your network. Yeah, you can get as much information as what's going on. Sometimes just engaging with your customers and seeing what frustration those customers are having might give you insights into what's happening within the organization. Once this analysis is complete, then you now write the goal statement, right? This will help you understand what you want to achieve. I understand them now. I know what their problem is. I know what their needs and opportunities are, right? Now, I want to propose something. What is my goal, right? So that's the first thing. What is my goal? Since I know the kind of proposal I want to write, I will have to define what I'm trying to achieve, right? Which is the purpose of my proposal. That purpose is the only reason, the only motivation I have to be writing that proposal. And once I've done all of those background, I now know why I want to write it. I've written down my goal statement. Then I begin to create a detailed outline of what I want to write about. Some people just start writing. I never recommend it. I don't recommend that you just start writing because that's something that makes it look as if when you are writing, things will come to you. Instead, work with a structure. Start with what I'll put in at the top, what I'll put in next, what I'll put in next. When I get to the body, how I will break down my thinking around the body of the proposal down by myself, right? So if I have created an outline, cover letter, title page, the main body broken down into different aspects, and then I write an executive summary that I'll bring back to the top again later. I want to have like a picture. I've not written the full proposal yet, but I want to have a picture of what that proposal will look like. So let's start with the cover letter. Just like a resume, cover letter outlines, what your company is, the basic thrust of the proposal, any condition, that you want to infuse into it. So the cover letter is more like an introduction letter, not necessarily introduction of the proposal, but introduction of the parties, right? And if there are terms and like validity of the proposal, sometimes some cover letters require you to, if there's a cost proposal, for example, the cost is fully broken down in the body of the proposal. You need to indicate what that is in the cover letter. And then you have the title page. Every proposal should have a title page. Includes the title of the proposal, the subject, the client's name and address, the name of the person creating it, and the address, contact details. Usually, this title page is put in the front, right? So even if I have a cover letter, the cover letter will be after the title page. Title page is more like a front page. Some will have the title as a block, put at the top of the documents, and can be repetitive across several pages or all the pages within the document, like a document control tab or format. It's always a good idea to outline how the information in the proposal can and cannot be used, shared, and transmitted. So when you talk about proprietary notice, if I'm sending somebody my business plan, for example, and I expect the person to apply some, discretion in sharing it or not sharing it at all because of copyright restriction, and stating how the person can use it, shouldn't be used for that. I can put it there as well. Then I get to the table of content, which lists all of the major sections and subsections in my proposal, right? So table of content nowadays are, they can be easily automatically added to your documents with from Word. But because you are writing, you are creating the content. The content is not already ready. You made an outline, and that outline is what you are writing to. The table of contents now aligns with that outline. If there are changes, it will also affect what you have at the table of content. Executive summary, the most important selling tool in your proposal, should be aimed at the executives in the client's organization. Because if you send a proposal to me, for example, I probably will read just the executive summary, and then I'll pass on the proposal to the appropriate departments to look into deeply. If that executive summary makes sense to me, and I get, an idea that it could be beneficial to us as an organization, I may, push it to others who will take a look at it, right? So in the executive summary, you want to ensure that the major benefits are indicated. You have fully understood, you fully define what is in it for me, the recipient or the audience, in your main write-up. You put a summary of what's in it for me in the executive summary, including key cost elements, right? The cost elements is also very important. Executives make decisions, they swear by the money any day. So if something is so good, so interesting, so fascinating, and the amount you throw in there in that executive summary is prohibitive, or nice to have, put it aside. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen to that proposal. So somebody may not even evaluate it further, that might just be the end. So, but you cannot, get people to search inside the main proposal before they see someone on the kind of a short outline of the main cost and the total cost. Because if you do that, and the executive or the director, MD, whoever you are sent it to, does not, to be honest with you, does not have time to go look for cost details, that proposal ends up, filed off or trashed. So don't think that the risk of it being overlooked because of high cost is anything significant, because the risk of it not being looked at all because you couldn't put the cost in the executive summary might just be enough to destroy your proposal. Introduction explains why you are writing the proposal, an overview of what to expect. Okay, some writers or some proposals will include just an introduction or just an executive summary, right? But if you do an executive summary, then you have an introduction that is a little bit lengthier, providing information. Executive summary does not provide any new information. Everything is already inside the main body of the proposal. Then the body, this is the meat of the proposal. It's organized. So this is where you make your arguments, right? Whether you want to tell a story, whether you want to give an outline for something, whether you want to make an argument for a concept, whether you want to convince somebody about the value or of their interest in anything. The body itself should be broken down into several paragraphs, several headings and subheadings. And then you get to the summary and conclusion, where you summarize the main points that you have covered, your proposed solution, why the solution is the best candidate for the task. So you will see that there is an executive summary, there is an introduction, and there is a summary and conclusion that looks almost as if they are the same thing, but they are not. They are not. The executive summary speaks to a different audience completely. Somebody who has to make that instant, quick decision whether we should consider it at all or not. The introduction goes to the person who is to do a review of the entire proposal, giving the person something to look forward to in the proposal. The summary and conclusion are your final points. It's like trying to summarize by restating in fewer words what you have used, all that many words you put in the body of the proposal. And then, of course, you could have a list of resources used, like a reference table, we call it bibliography. And then there are other aspects of proposals. If you have figures in the proposal, you make a list of the figures you have used. If there are other contents that you refer to that you think the content will be useful for the reader, you can pull such content and not just put a reference to them, but put the content. Let's assume you have an outline that has been established or accepted by an industry as a list of a closed list of something that you refer to. You can put the list out there in the reference section. So there are several things you can put in the reference section. You can do a cost benefit analysis. You can do a look at the methodology in terms of maybe some scientific proof that can give some kind of credence to the position you took in the body of the work that you were doing. You've referred to them, but in the reference, but you could also attach them for further reading. All right, once the standard components and any special sections are outlined, now time to start building the body of your proposal, right? So you've put down the outline. You now want to start doing the writing itself. And as you get into this aspect, researching, organizing your thoughts, putting clips here and there, you just have to be as broad as possible, because what you are going to finally write, even if it's just a two-page proposal, you have to gather enough content, enough materials, enough information and data that will be 10 times more, 20 times more than the final outline, right? So you need to actually go look out for facts, right? You find facts to support those headings and subheadings you have created. And it is in the process of searching for these facts that you might end up, splitting up some subheadings or some headings, or merging some up, or even deleting some that may not be relevant. Because if you don't have supporting facts to back up what you are trying to propose, that proposal falls flat. And you don't want to create a section that will now become self-defeating. You create a subsection or a subheading component of your proposal that you don't have any way to support. I've had to pull back on certain aspects of proposals to clients, when I try to reach out to my sources for those solutions or technology and see how reliable they have been in the past. Somebody can tell me, something is possible, can do this and that for you, right? And mentally, I think it's possible I can do it. But when I'm not developing a proposal, I'm not trying to dig into real stories, real history, real testimonial, real case studies of how it's been done, and confirm to myself, make contacts even to people that can help me get that solution. If I see any kind of, comma or, lack of detail, concrete detail, I will have to pull out that aspect from my proposal. I don't want to go forward. Somebody says, hey, yes, we like your idea. Let's begin. And then you say, oh, sorry, we couldn't do it because of ABC. That is something that should happen while you were still trying to do the research. So before writing, you can begin, you must gather facts to support the proposal, right? And there are so many ways. You can talk with people, interview, you could observe, engage by being around where things are happening, and you make your inferences from your observation. You could talk to people with information within different organizations, target organizations, other organizations. There are consultants and third-party agents who have done things in that space before, or who have knowledge, industry experts. Look for. The search is really endless. There are magazines and industry journals where certain reports of projects and case studies have been documented. You just keep searching. There are books that will carry certain information where the authors and those they have profiled have been able to engage in such a way that there's information. They've made it available either in a book or in any source. Sometimes you rely entirely on the internet, but try to, when you are in an internet resource that refers you to another resource or references another resource, don't take their own comments, statements of facts as your own statement of facts. Go past them to their source so that you too can also tap from that source. Instead of making an inference of Mr. A saying Mr. B said, you take Mr. A's comments on the surface, you go to what Mr. A referred Mr. B has said, and you look at what Mr. B has said. So you are quoting Mr. B, not Mr. A, in your own write-up, right? And not all information should be used, just the same way. Use information from accredited, reliable organizations. There are some information you pick online. It's coming from a commercial entity who is trying to promote something of their preference or something they want their customers to have, and they will make all kinds of claims. So be very conscious of who you are extracting facts from to put in your proposals. Some outrightly put out false data, false analysis on their blogs and in their website to create to convince customers, rather dubiously or fraudulently. You may end up copying such information and relying on those kind of information for your own research and proposals. So be very conscious. Like I said before, your outline is not something that should force you to make sure because you want to feel every aspect of your outline. You end up, relying on dubious or incomplete or incorrect sources of information. So when organizing your information, you could organize it using different approach because the whole idea is convincing, right? So you could, organize it according to chronological order, most recent to the oldest, or the oldest to the most recent, by level of detail, simple ideas, simple points before complex points, or complex points before simple points. By importance, you prioritize, the ideas you want to share in the body, present in the body, and then you can rank them. You can decide to make a very strong, significant, important points before you add the peripheral points, or you can reverse it and build up to the key master stroke in your proposal. So start from peripheral points and build your way up to the big, most important points you want to push. And then you also have the pros and cons approach, where you give several outline of several recommendations with their pros and cons. Because at the end of the day, when you get to the bottom of your proposal, you want to be known, you want whoever is reading your proposal to know what you eventually is pushing, right? What are you pushing for? But sometimes you cannot just, in most cases, you're not supposed to just go there and write your opinion, right? You want to present the facts that led to an opinion, and you want the reader to also be able to arrive at your opinion by looking at the facts, not overlooking the opinions, or looking at the fact, overlooking the facts and buying your opinion. In fact, you cannot get people to be convinced when you cannot share with them the kind of data and analysis you've gone through, to become convinced yourself. But too many proposals with very great ideas, fantastic solutions, revolutionary ideas, doesn't get through because the person advancing it ignored the position of spelling and grammar. You probably would say people should overlook, errors I make in English. After all, English is not my primary language. Besides, it's not a true test of my idea, right? But people will use it as a test to see whether you are a serious person, to see whether you pay attention to detail, to see whether you try your best to get things right? So there's always going to be that, your words going ahead of you to judge you. Are you meticulous? Are you careful? Are you forthright? Are you consistent? Do people, is there a level of confidence coming out of you when we look through or read what you have written? People can just look at what you have written and form an opinion about you as a person, right? So paying attention to proper spelling and grammar is generally good practice, right? It makes your work seem professional. And so ensure that you use, sometimes you may think you edited and edited and edited and you're quite comfortable with what you have done. But you might be looking at the same error again and again and again, and the error is there, you are not seeing it. So using a simple editing tool, for example, can be helpful. Sometimes verbalizing and putting some audio so you can hear what you have written can also be helpful. When you read it out loud to yourself, you may be surprised. That also creates one error on its own, because you can be reading what you thought you have written. So you will hear what you thought you have written, and the error is still there. So it's important that we pay attention to the words that we write. We cannot use shorthand words type we use in WhatsApp and SMS, for example, when handling proposals, because these are all official writing, right? It's all official writing, and because it's official writing, you want to have a level of formality. You can't be too casual about it, right? And it's a document that should be more objective than subjective, which means that you leave your opinions, your personal opinions, is not what you want to push. You want to say facts the way they are and allow the reader draw their own conclusion. But you know from the onset what you are trying to conclude, what you want that conclusion to be. And so that's where the convincing comes in. You're trying to write it in such a way that they will see things from your own point of view, but you are not overlooking the facts that led you to your own point of view and trying to push them into your own point of view, right? So include the appropriate level of detail in each sentence and paragraph. Too little detail will leave the reader confused. Too much detail and they may become bored, all right? So a good understanding of your audience comes in handy. Who are you writing to, okay? And sometimes repetition in a different way might be helpful, but if you repeat certain ideas or certain thoughts or certain points or certain facts in the same way repeatedly, you might, push smart people who can just cut through the chase and say, why is this guy wasting my time? And that can just be the undoing of your writing. Be very careful when using jargon, slang, and acronyms, right? So if you are writing the professional piece and you expect that people understand, what those jargons is. So I'm writing in facility management, I'm writing about CMMS, FCI, FCA, and some of those jargons we use in facility management. I probably will want to, in my first use of any jargon, spell it out and put the abbreviation in a bracket, right? So when I use it again and again and again, at least I have created that first breakdown or spell out. And then for, when there are so many, and I probably, feel it's a lot of big burden, doing that for every jargon I'm going to use, I probably will create something like a glossary or a definition of terms. That's right, for professional, large scale proposal writing. I probably will create that section and add that in there. So how do you create sentences? There are simple, compound, or complex sentences. A simple sentence expresses an idea with one subject and one verb. I went to the store to get ice cream. It's a simple sentence. There is an object and there is a subject. I went to the store to get ice cream. Very straightforward. Or Jim went to the store to get ice cream. Very straightforward. The compound sentences have two ideas expressed together. Jim went to the store to get ice cream and got lost on the way. There are two ideas. Those two ideas I can express in two sentences, but I decided to create a compound sentence where I can express the two ideas in one sentence. Most of the time when we use compound sentences is because we want to reduce the number of words in a writing. Sometimes we want to respect those who are reading the writing, because if you use too many simple sentences, the person may think you are patronizing or condescending, right? So that is one reason, especially when you're writing to a professional cadre, an elite or an intellectual group or individual or entity. You probably don't want to be too simplistic, okay? And then you have a complex statement, a single idea with a dependent idea. Jim went to the store to get ice cream after he ate supper, right? This is another way of presenting a compound idea, but as a complex idea. You are including two ideas, went to the store and to get ice cream and ate supper, but you have added a twist of order, the timing of which one happened first, right? So know that compound sentence, the secondary part, that's he got lost on the way, would make sense on its own. In the complex sentence, dependent idea, after he ate supper, cannot stand on its own, right? So the difference is that in a compound sentence, the two ideas can be two simple sentences, but in a complex sentence, you cannot put the second idea on its own independently. This is just, some writing tips. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you here is spend time learning how to write, okay? I'm not going to teach you how to write as professionals in this place. Don't ignore the importance of being able to write and write well, Okay. So the final thought I'm going to share with you is people respond to your writing, in different ways. Okay. So if you understand how people respond to writing, you may want to find different things to include in your writing to have you a guaranteed yes. Some of them include consistency. Make sure your proposal is sending a clear, consistent message, right? This is where your goal statement can become very helpful because you know exactly what this proposal is going to convey. You want to convince somebody for, to buy whatever, to promote you, to approve your project. It's important that you have a consistent message. What that means is that there's a way you are perceived. You deliberately, build how you are perceived. You deliberately build a tone, a pattern, a way somebody should expect you to behave, right? Your message should not be inconsistent. You should not have I do, and then I also do something of another opposite end, right? There'll be no consistency. And then there is reciprocity. Give your clients something that they will feel compelled to give back. Usually, if you have something that the client needs, you're giving favors can elicit favors in return. So think about how you can apply that. There's also social validation. People tend to follow the crowd. If possible, show how elements in your proposal were successful for people known to the proposal audience. So social validation simply means if I'm trying to get you to do this, I should also let you know that if you do it, you are in the majority, right? By giving examples of how people like the audience, competitors, or whoever, this audience would like to feel as one or as part of, is also responding. Social validation is very powerful when it comes to, convincing people to do things. And that's why you see when it's election time, you start hearing of polls and polls and polls. What do they keep tapping into? Poll result, poll result. They're trying to make people feel, let's assume somebody asks you, who will you vote for? And you say it's Mr. A. I'm not voting Mr. B. But when the result comes out, it shows that most people favor Mr. B. That's, can begin to make you feel like, okay, you know what? Let me not waste my vote or something. That's kind of thinking. Most of my friends are going for Mr. B. Maybe I should also vote for Mr. B. Mr. B must be right. There's something they know that I don't know, something they are aware of that I need to be part of. And then there's likability. Be friendly in your proposal. You will not win by badgering, bullying, or insulting. In fact, this applies to all kinds of proposals. Whether you're trying to sell yourself, sell your company, sell anything, you're trying to convince somebody for anything, you need to be likable, right? So that's friendly, personifying your ideas, sounding as natural as possible, not bullying or insulting. Because sometimes you might get the urge to be aggressive, right? You in your tone of writing, in your stressing of certain things excessively, you might seem to be bullying or insulting. So just understand that this is a huge aspect. Then authority, establish why you are the expert in this area and why you are the right people or person to be making this proposal. This is something that you build over time by being consistent in developing content and value to the industry in a particular way. Over time, you become an authority, but you have to tap into your authority. You have to, every time you're sending a proposal, you must establish why you are the expert. You must establish why you should be the one making this proposal, why people should listen to you. And the final element of persuasive writing is scarcity, right? Add something that should make the person feel unique, okay? A special offer, a time a time constraint to, if you don't do it now, you won't get it again, right? This is the last one for the year, and those kind of aspects, they create a sense of urgency and importance to your proposal, and you can win by doing some of these. All right, so that's where I'm going to stop in my discussion about proposal writing. You can get the full proposal writing content by buying the proposal writing course. When you go to facilitemanagementcourses.com, you will find a lot more, so many courses that can help boost your career. And these things are backed. These courses are backed by certificates issued by Max-Migold, your trusted name in capacity development in the built environment in Nigeria and across Africa. All right, so that's our session for today's lunch hour. I hope you've had a good time learning a thing or two. I'll be looking forward to meeting with us again next week, Thursday. But in the meantime, I still have a few minutes. I can take a question or two. Let me see. I'm sure you can show by raising your hand if you have a question. And if you are on LinkedIn or YouTube, please type in your question there as well. If you are on the WhatsApp group, you can type in your question. In fact, that's where I will mostly take questions on an ongoing basis beyond the lunch hour time. Okay, so if you are not on the Max-Migold WhatsApp group, please, the link is on the chat. Just click on it and join that WhatsApp group now. I believe this link is also shared on the other platforms, so you can just click on it and join the WhatsApp group and have conversations. Whatever you have as career challenges, whatever you have as opportunities that will require for a group brainstorming on learning, or special advice from myself or any of the other experts we have in all of our groups, please feel free to come in there and put it. Okay, so there's a question. Are there any documents or recordings available? Yes, you joined late. All of the recordings and slideshows and videos for every of our launch hour sessions are available in the Facility Management courses.com. Facilitemanagementcourses.com is where all of our courses are. It's the learning management system where you can pay a token, take the course online, and the certificates, prestigious certificates from Max-Migold, and show that you've been trained and worthy of whatever opportunities is there and available for you, including your increased performance. All of the tools and tricks you need to excel in the workplace in today's corporate environment is available. We have courses to cover virtually every skill set of skill gap you have. If you just go to Max-Migold.facilitemanagementcourses.com, that's where all of our courses are. So, and once you pay for the course, small money, 20K, 15K, 35K, 40K, some of them are as low as 15,000 naira or so. You just you can pay online directly on the website, and you'll be sent straight into a learning management system to start learning and earning. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Have a good afternoon, and look forward to seeing you again next week, Thursday. Bye-bye.